Kyler ripped off 8 wins out of 10 and then turn around and lose 4 in a row. Our lineup goes 0 for 20-something with runners in scoring position before a Santiago Espinal 75-mile-an-hour off the bat, screamer into left field scoring Elly De La Cruz. And now the injuries are starting to pile up. Noelvi Marte's got a torn up oblique. Hunter Greene's got a groin strain now. And unfortunately, we all saw that Callihan broke his forearm. So, Reds fans, are you feeling good? Because I'm not so sure we are.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's been a tough week of injuries. But yeah, it's just been, this past week has just been a reality check for me. I feel like the Reds went from gritty and exciting to just kind of flat. And it went fast. So we're going to dive into the mounting injuries, the disappearing offense, some of the hard truths about these guys that our front office bet on, blue chip prospects, just like Connor Phillips, Spencer Steer, McLain, and dare we even say the name Elly De La Cruz. But it's time to talk about what's really going on.
Yeah, with those guys in particular, Kyler, we're talking about expectations versus reality. We're talking about swings and misses and guys like Connor Phillips. And what we're talking about really is a team that had such a great identity in 2023 that really is starting to lose it. I mean, this isn't the same team I knew from 2 years ago or last year. It's a team that's struggling, but we're going to jump into it. We're going to get into it. This is Reds Access.
Welcome to Reds Access, your go-to podcast for everything Cincinnati Reds. I'm Kyler Osterberger.
And I'm Collin Arter. Each week, we're breaking down the good, the bad, and the flat-out frustrating, Kyler, from the Reds dugout, which has been somewhat frustrating lately, to the Reds front office, which is always frustrating.
Yep. So we're not insiders. We're fans just like you. Just two guys that love the Reds. We like to ride the highs. We're suffering some lows right now. But we're not afraid to call it how we see it.
Yeah, we're junkies a little bit. Like we're a little bit of Reds junkies. But, you know, guys, if you're listening on YouTube, just make sure you subscribe to us, not just for the takes, because we're running a little bit of a giveaway here when the Reds make the playoffs. And we'll still be hopeful with that. But when the Reds make the playoffs, we're running a little bit of a giveaway. Yeah.
And one lucky subscriber, as long as your profile's public, could win a Reds hat from MLB.com, Pro Shop. And a $20 Skyline gift card, because obviously what's better than making the playoffs and having a Coney with it as well?
Yeah, I know, man. It's for me, it is a football tradition to eat a Coney for every game. I always order Skyline or go get Skyline for every Bengals game.
It's got to be
If I did it every game for the Reds, I'd be a little bit bigger, I think. There's 162 of them. But fans out there, Reds fans, baseball fans, hit that subscribe button and let's talk some Reds. This episode's gonna be a little bit somber, Kyler. Really good points. We're 2 days late on this episode, obviously. And if it would have been 2 days ago, we would have been riding highs. We would have been, we won 8 of our last 10. We're looking good. Man, things change quick, though.
Yeah, no, I agree. And obviously, there's some injuries we're gonna dive into, and it's been a rough, I feel like, couple days to be a Reds fan. Let's talk about the big one. Besides Greene, obviously we'll get into that, but Callihan completely obliterated his forearm.
The nastiest one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Completely obliterated his forearm. There was news that he's placed on the 10-day IL. He will participate in no baseball activity for 6 to 8 weeks is what Tito told the media. But I have one serious question. Was it a catch?
Do you remember... Gosh, this is probably more than a decade ago. Most people watching the show probably were in diapers. But do you remember that Dez Bryant no catch?
Yeah, that was a touchdown.
That kind of changed the NFL, made the NFL change the rules. What was a catch?
Was it a touchdown?
No, it was a no catch.
Sideline.
He made contact with the ground.
I meant, was it supposed to be a touchdown?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The ball didn't move at all. He just caught it and the ball hit the ground. And that was okay. So this is similar to that, man. First and foremost, obviously prayers up for Tyler Callihan. It's hate to see a guy that struggled with injuries early in his career slug it out in AAA. I was all over Twitter saying Tyler Callihan was making his stride to the major leagues. He gets there. He gets a couple hits under his belt, tries to make a big play, and snaps his forearm in half. To answer your question, it wasn't a catch. And it's a shame that it wasn't a catch because it's the rule that's the problem, not the play. At the end of the day, Tyler Callihan did go 3 steps with 2.5 steps with the ball in his hand, hit the wall, fell down, glove comes off because his arm is laying there like this. At the end of the day, the glove came off in trying to complete that catch. But also at the end of the day, Kyler, it sounds like the MLB needs a 2-step rule, like the NFL. He's going to make a baseball move or do a left foot, right foot with control of the ball in the glove because there's no world where that shouldn't have been a catch.
Right. No, I totally agree. And you can't really, I know in the rule book, the steps and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, you can't really fault someone for throwing their glove off when they just completely obliterated their forearm. I mean, that's like your first instinct is to just get whatever away from you or off of you and like kind of just analyze what just happened. And that's what he did. He threw his glove off, started holding his arm. People ran out, but it was a tough injury to watch.
It was incredibly tough, man. And to make it worse, that happened. That was bad enough. And it's not season ending, which is the crazy part. They're saying 6 to 8 weeks, and that guy's arm is in half. And they're saying it's not season ending is incredible. I do think that it will be a tough road back for Tyler Callihan. And I wish him the best. And hats off to him for making that play. It's going to be a tough road back, man. And man, another guy who's tough road might be coming, man, is Noelvi Marte. Yeah, it's a month. First of all, it's a month, and this is a guy that has an almost 850 OPS, Kyler, and he's third on the team batting this year. And yeah, he had that game against the Rockies and this, and I don't want to hear any of that because he's had 70 at-bats now. He's been performing. He's been a good hitter.
Yeah.
Grade 2 oblique strain, man. Just finding rhythm, like really answering questions we had for him last year if he could make it back after the PED suspension. And now it's looking like it'll be a month without him, man.
Yeah, and like you said, he's been performing. Obviously, our offense has been very hot and cold, as many of our viewers, if you're watching the Reds, have noticed the last, I would say, couple weeks, almost the entire season at this point. But yeah, Marte's a tough one to lose, especially with him actually producing, and that's what we need. We're losing a lot of these 1-run games, and our offense is just not scoring for multiple innings at a time. What was it the other night against the Braves? It took us to the 8th inning to score a run, which you can't do that. You cannot do that and win games.
Well, but we're missing the impact bats. I mean, looking at our OPS stats, Kyler, first OPS leader is Austin Wynn, who also had a good game against the Braves the other day, 1.184. He's been insane, right? And then there's Austin Hayes, who is hurt, should be back sometime next week, but he's been really good to start his Reds career. Through 58 at-bats, by the way, so not like a small sample size. I mean, he's played. And that's Noelvi Marte. Those are 3 guys, Kyler, that Noelvi Marte had the most playing time of any of these guys at 19 games and 73 at-bats. Our starters are at 160 at-bats already. The list is very, very shallow after guys like Noelvi Marte, who we are requiring and relying to be quality bats in the lineup. That's a big miss for the next month going into the All-Star break, really.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, and it kind of goes back to what we said at the very beginning, that there's kind of these certain stars or players we expected a lot more from. And I know there's still a lot of baseball left, but we're a month and a half in, almost 5 to 6 weeks in. And there's certain people, and I think we're going to get into it later, that are just not producing like we expected during spring training, and we were kind of talking about this. So obviously losing Marte, a key part of the offense right now, is just not good for us.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I had faith in our offense going into the season, man. Our depth has been tested is the problem. Every team has injuries. What we're finding is that our depth wasn't strong enough. We have, I think, our starting 9. If we have a healthy team out there, I think it's above average offensive baseball. I really do. I know that seems silly with us not having a 40 home run guy I really think we're a good team.
But I agree with you. But like to an extent, though, how many times are we going to play the injury card, though? Like all other organizations, like the Dodgers, look at them. They have the most people on the IL right now. Like, obviously, they have bigger payroll, bigger stars, blah, blah, blah. We can go through a whole thing on that. But how long can the Reds just keep saying like, oh, the injuries cost us that season? Like we need to be building depth for these reasons. We know players are getting hurt and they're kind of rotating on the IL, but like how many times can we say we lose one player and our whole offense is out the window? It shouldn't be like that.
Too many. That's what you. And speaking of players hurt, it's not just the offense, man. I mean, Hunter Greene's down, grade 1 groin strain. Sounds like he's going to miss 2 starts. He is going to go on the injured list. Earlier today, they said that he was not going to go on the injured list, Kyler. They said he'd miss a start, avoid the IL, just miss his start Monday. Sounds like they're being cautious. They're going to throw him on the 10-day retroactive. And sounds like he'll miss, he'll miss 1 start because his off day is Monday. They can just skip him in the rotation. He's going to miss, he's missing a full start, though.
Yeah. I saw Tito made a comment about 2+ starts, but going into what you said about the off day, hopefully it's just 1 start and we can get him back.
Yeah, I mean it's 2 because you're skipping him in the rotation, but the point is nobody's losing a day in the rotation. And this is coming with, Lauder's coming back in the near future, and I saw he dueled against Clayton Kershaw the other day in Single A, which is pretty cool for him.
Yeah, he had a quick stat line on that. It was 3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 0 walks, 5 strikeouts. And I think as long as he feels good and is okay, I think his next start's going to be with the Dragons, is what people were saying.
Well, we're going to need him because our depth is being tested throughout the entire organization. And we're going to need him for pitching, Kyler, because the offense has plummeted back down to earth. It was like a rocket ship. It was like Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX rocket shooting off into the stratosphere like who does is that Elton John or is that Freddie Mercury? Freddie Mercury. I'm a rocket ship, like going into the stratosphere, man. A huge play, offense playing great, hitting, not striking out. And then the rocket ship, right before it breaks into space, into orbit, loses its gas and just plummets back down. We're back to a 93 OPS plus team, Kyler. We're back to a team that can't hit when they need to hit. We're back to a team that struggles to consistently get on base and a team that struggles to do the little things like scoring with runners in scoring position, even when they just have to put the ball in play. It's year after year the same thing, Kyler. And we lost up until yesterday 4 in a row. After it looked like we were finally getting hot, 3 games over 500, here we are back at 19-19.
Yeah, and I actually have some stats. Obviously, they're going from 24 and then the 25 season. So obviously, there's still a lot of baseball for some of them. So some of these are projected. So on base percentage in 2024, we were a .305. As of right now, we're a .328. Obviously, that's better. I feel like we have been doing well with getting on base. It's the scoring has been
it's the getting on base when it matters is the problem. Right. It's not getting on. It's getting on and doing something about it. That's
right. And those numbers are a little extorted due to like the Colorado Rockies and stuff like that, where we scored a ton. But stolen bases, so 24, we had 207. As of right now, we're only on pace for 162. So that's what, 25%? 15%, somewhere in that range.
20% less for sure, yeah.
Yep, and that's obviously on pace. These numbers can change. And then stolen base success rate in 24, we had an 82%. Right now in 25, we're sitting at 76%. And this was, I think, as of like a day ago. So I don't know if last night's game is in these stats, but you get the point.
Do you know who the caught stealing leader is in Major League Baseball? The guy who's been caught stealing the most times in 2025. Elliot de la Cruz.
I know Espinal just got caught the other night.
He might have. Yeah, Elliot de la Cruz leads the league in caught stealing. Espinal has been caught once. He's not stolen it back. De la Cruz no longer leads the league. Man, that's 4.
Sorry, I didn't mean lead the league. Sorry. In my
league.
Yeah, on my notes I had the other night about Espinal getting picked off and just things that are just going wrong.
Well, it's funny. Speaking of Espinal, I don't know. I guess we're talking about so we'll talk about the offense a little bit later as a whole, like a whole segment. But Espinal's one of our best hitters. You'll see it on the little ticker underneath me here, the down there. You'll see the Espinal's 3rd in OPS on the team. A guy that has barreled 1 baseball all year, Kyler. 1 baseball he's barreled. He has hit 1 ball over 90 miles an hour the entire season, Kyler. And he's the 3rd highest player on the team in OPS. What a joke. What a joke from so many different places, dude. We'll wait.
It's a Cincinnati thing.
What a joke, man, to have a team of talented hitters like the Reds have.
It's like vice versa. The Bengals offense was incredible last year. Defense sucks. Our defense is, I would say, pretty good this year. Not amazing, but pitching's been good, and fielding, obviously, we've had some issues with errors and stuff like that. But now our offense can't. It's like our football gets offense going, baseball doesn't. I just can't keep up with it.
It's just we go from playing like energized baseball, man. We're like really running all cylinders. And you want, man, the Reds are the rally Reds. They're exciting. They're getting out there. They're getting on base. They're making great plays. They're to taking a cutoff throw from Jake Fraley and sitting there with, I can't say that phrase on here, but sitting there doing nothing while the runner rounds third. By the way, the runner being Stuart Fairchild, who we cut.
Old Stu.
Who we cut because he swung him, popped out on a 3-0 count in spring training. And we can't hit lefties again, by the way, this year. So, funnily enough, probably could have used Stuart Fairchild. But regardless of any of that, he just holds onto the ball.
Yeah.
That was the tying run of the 9th inning. You can't even blame Emilio Pagan for that blown save. It was on Matt McLain. And then,
that throw wasn't going to go where it needed to either.
No, he should have cut it off, but he cut it off. And
it was a botched relay. Yeah, it was a complete botch.
Well, and Jeff Brantley's, nobody told him to throw it home. I didn't know you were on the field.
Right.
Let's actually just straight transition this into how the Reds compare, Kyler, between preseason and regular season. I'll give you one right now. I expected guys like Matt McLain to be bigger contributors in a 160 average and one of the worst fielders in baseball. It is like he took off right where Jonathan India left off.
Yeah. Yeah, he might regret not taking that contract extension as well. He keeps it up.
Yes. Yeah. As of right now, yes.
He's blowing his value out with that. But I agree with you. And Steer not being 100% and trying to come back. And what was he, 1 for like 23 at bats or something starting off?
I knew he would turn it around. But God, that was annoying.
What is going on?
How many games did we lose, man? How many games did we lose early in the year? Or even last week? How many games did we lose last week because we threw Blake Dunn out there, who went 0 for 3 at 3 Ks? Tyler Stevenson, who knows if he's even healthy, 0 for 5 with 5 Ks.
Well, it's going right back to and I like that you're getting passionate about it because we've talked about going back on these, throwing these people out there that are not fully recovered. Or these role players that shouldn't be on a major league team, a 40-man roster.
We talked about that, man. And, and I remember, you know what you said before the season?
I don't remember.
You know the words you consistently use with Terry Francona?
Well, he is smart, and
smart was not the word. I'll tell you the word. It was a longer word than smart. It was accountability. It was Terry Francona brings accountability to this franchise. And I'm so glad to see them not rushing guys back from injury. You and I were actually speaking in that episode, Kyler, about Spencer Steer.
Yeah.
Because he was going to start the year on the IL because we had Austin Hayes.
Yep.
Then Austin Hayes goes down with an injury. And here comes old Spence hobbling out onto the field. Can't even throw a baseball with his right arm, with his power arm. That's why he was DH,
dude. We don't need him out there. We just need him to hit, which he can't do either.
Designate K, like DK, designate strikeout. I don't know, it's insane, man.
And Hurtubise, we're just throwing these people out.
I would ask you if we overrated the timeline for this team to contend, but I know that's not true because we're running out of time. You're 3 years into this Matt McLain, Ellie De La Cruz window, and you have nothing more to show for it. You have nothing to show for it. But a team right now that's only performing under my expectations, I don't know about yours, performing under expectations. There's no guarantee we're going to go to somebody at the trade deadline because when's the last time we did that? And I would say we jumped the gun on the expectations here for contention, Kyler, but I can't say we did because we have players that can play. It's another failure. It's not their fault. It's a failure on the front office again and again and again.
Yeah, but hear me out here. Are we thinking they're performing below expectations as a fan? Because it seems like per media, we're kind of obviously hot and cold, but we're performing record-wise what we should be. Obviously, we had higher hopes.
That
But
COVID
is it just
season.
because we're passionate fans and we want more and we know that we should have more and expect more, or are we actually performing under? Because obviously the media picks out bad stuff, but from what I've seen, a lot of people are happy that we were just at 500 and that we didn't start 3 and 22, and we have something going on. But like as us as fans, this roster
If
and
that's
this
the case, the
manager,
Castellinis, Kyler, have done a really good job at getting fans to expect mediocrity.
I was just about to say, be a mediocre team. You spend just enough money to keep people happy. You
Get them
win
in the
just
stands.
enough. Yep, but you don't go all the way.
Well, you know why people are okay with being mediocre? Because where are you going to go?
Yeah,
Man,
true.
it's terrible. And I think back to these expectations of the media nationally. We're Bengals fans too. We don't get national media expectation. By the way, as a Bengals fan, I do want to shout out Snap, Tackle, and Talk is coming back. Our football podcast, myself and my two co-hosts, Dwight Couch and John, we are going to come back this, I guess today, actually, our first episode. So if you like Bengals football, go ahead and jump on in. But going back, Kyler, Bengals fan, Reds fan, doesn't matter. You know the national media doesn't care. So I don't care what national ever. I will never care what the national media has to say about what the Reds are going to do or not going to do. I don't care.
Yeah.
I care about what I as a fan see, and that was a team that was ready to compete. A team that going into it said, we know we have to be better in these games because we want to be competitors. We want to be competition. We want to win the World Series. I have Elliot De La Cruz saying we are going to win the World Series. Well, how about you don't watch a fastball down the proverbial piece of male genitalia? How about you swing at that?
Yeah.
You don't watch a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Raisel Iglesias right down the middle.
Let's go back to like the one-run games. Like we talked about that during spring training. That's like a big thing, and we're 3-6 this year in one run.
Is that up to date? Because I thought like 3-8 now or something. Is that up to? Are we sure that's up to date?
Unless it might have been the other night. It might be 3-7.
3-7. Now. I think it's 3-7 now. It's atrocious
because of the Braves.
It's atrocious. It's terrible, man.
And I out of those 10 games, I think we should have won all 10 of them. Like that's not just like a being biased. That's like a we blew it. Like it was our fault. We should have won.
Yeah, we're 4-7. I think so. We won last night as a 1-run game too. I think we gave up 3 runs to get back into it. But man, yeah, you're right. It's a joke. It's a joke. But there are surprises, right? I mean, there are things like Luis May has been a big surprise for us. He's pitched in 3 games. He's looked great so far. And so there are guys that get opportunities kind of pitch great. Another good surprise has been Tony Santillan, Graham Ashcraft. There have been great surprises in the bullpen, or not in the bullpen. Let's go to hitters. There have been good surprises. Gavin Lux. Gavin Lux is having a great year. Wins. Marte's been playing better than I could have expected. He's hurt now. Espinal is having a career year, a kind of crazy year, actually.
Is it like insane? I know we talked about this, I think, a couple weeks ago, but if you were to look at the Reds roster and read these numbers off today, back to us in March or February, I feel like we'd poop our pants that you would tell me that Espinal, Marte, Wins, all these people are outperforming De La Cruz, McCain, Steer. Like, it's absolutely insane to me.
If you went down this list on Baseball Reference I'm looking at right now, if you went down this list and named each guy, I would say, okay, Marte, wow. And then I'd go, wait, why is Marte playing? And then they'd say Gavin Lux. I'd say, wow, Gavin Lux. Jose Trevino, wow, Jose Trevino. Santiago Espinal, wow. And then they say Elliot De La Cruz. I'd say, yeah, I mean, he needs to heat up a little bit. Elliot De La Cruz, by the way, is in danger if he does not hit a home run today, bringing his slugging under 400 for the season, Kyler. Elliot De La Cruz is a 343 on base. That's really good. Elliot De La Cruz in his career, let's see in his career slugging is 441. So he's having the lowest slugging year of his entire career so far. And you can tell he's not swinging for home runs. He's doing like these little man. Yeah. Okay, and then you keep going. TJ Friedl, 273 to 729. Yeah, that's about right. He's about a league average hitter. Jake Fraley. Man, that sucks. I probably need to move on. Matt McLain's got a 61 OPS plus. What? Spencer Steer's hitting 186? Huh? Jamer Candelario's hitting 113 for the year? Well, I probably expected that. So you go through and it gets worse and worse, man. I didn't even realize Reese Hines played last night, but he played last night, went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. If they're going to give him the Will Benson treatment, now's the time. Give him one game against one of the best pitchers in the league and throw him back to the minor leagues. What a way to help a guy's confidence out. It really is crazy, man. There have been overperformers, but there are also to your point, there have been a ton of underperformers.
Yeah, that's like you said. I mean, you read it off. It's if you would have talked to me in February about these numbers, I would have not believed you at all.
It's most of the offense, right? I mean, yeah, there's guys in the rotation that could be playing better. Not really. I mean, the worst guy's Nick Martinez. There's guys in the bullpen for sure. Alexis Diaz, good riddance. Never see him again. Jabot's been okay. Sam Maul is supposed to be coming back. He might be shot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but how much pressure can you put on the bullpen? They can only perform so much. You know what I mean? The offense is
played great, though, is my point. Like, the bullpen really has played great. So I guess I can't really – you could say, like, how much pressure can you put on them? But my answer to that question is not – you don't need – they haven't really put that much pressure on them. The bullpen's not leading the league in innings by a long stretch. So, like, I'm not worried about the bullpen yet. We've played 38 games, and the guy leading the leagues in games are 18 games played. So if you do the math on that, well, I mean, you're looking at what? 18 divided by 38 times 162. That's 76 games out of the pen. That'd be a lot of games, but let's say they could bring that down a little bit to 65, 70. That's okay. Those your high leverage guys. That's okay. But so there's been good things, right? That's my point. But the offense, Kyler, let's jump into the offense, man. The offense has been on a brutal stretch twice this season. None worse recently before this Braves game when De La Cruz scored on that single. They were on a pretty rough stretch.
Yeah, I know you kind of covered it a little bit earlier about the 0 for 20 something. It was, I think it might have been 20 or 21, whatever it was.
Yeah, I thought it was like 21 or 23. That's why I put 20 something. I didn't get a chance to actually write that stat down when I saw it, so it's kind of
with runners in scoring position until Espinal's RBI single the other night. But yeah, you're just blowing it right there. That's tiny. You just got to put the ball in play and get a run.
It's just inconsistency, man. There's no rallies. Has there been one game this season you've seen the Reds going to the ninth inning down? Think about back to 2016 with Votto or think about 2010 with Votto when he won the MVP. Man, if the Reds were down one going into the ninth inning and it was Votto, Phillips, Bruce coming up, I gotta be honest, confidence. Man, I was pretty confident we were going to get that run.
No, I was too. I was just thinking that Phillips, Votto, and Bruce. Yeah, you knew one of them was going to hit the ball and put it in play or hit a home run.
I'm not confident with that anymore. It's crazy we have to look back that far to get that kind of confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you go back to Castellanos, Votto, that kind of Puig, like the Derek Dietrich insanity run. But even then, you're going back 5 years, 6 years now. You're going back 6 seasons.
Yeah.
As we kind
of can't believe we played with us sometimes. There's certain players that the Reds just washed up. Just pick them up. You're like, wow, they played for the Reds for 1 year. And then you're like, they didn't do anything. Like Deion Sanders played for the Reds for 3 years? Like
Barry Larkin talks about Deion Sanders like he was a god at baseball. Deion Sanders had a career batting average of 180.
Dude,
and Barry Larkin, when he talks about Deion Sanders, he's like, when I had a great hitter behind me to protect me in the lineup like Deion Sanders. And I'm like, what? It's insane.
Dude, I feel like the Reds just throw money at washed up stars, and then we get angry and we cut them and we blow money, and then we project all these rookies to do so great, and it's just like a constant cycle. It feels like every year we're in the same spot. It seems like.
There's things that lead to that, right? So from the offense, it's no leader, no captain. Nobody steps up, Kyler. It seems like there's no captain on this team. You want it to be De La Cruz, but he's obviously not. So there's none. It needs to be somebody. I want somebody to be out there to see on his chest. Genuinely, I want to see on their. If it's Hunter Greene I know he's the captain for the pitching staff.
Right.
Who do the hitters have? Okay, and then plate discipline, man. Guys come on, need to get on base. It's 3-2, chasing a curveball in the dirt. And by the way, our K rate as a team is really good this year. We're not really striking out all that often. I mean, it seems like it's some games, but other games, we really aren't striking out at all. And a lot of guys have really great K rates. Some guys are struggling. Some guys look really good with that, by the way. So it's an approach issue. And it goes to Chris Vallejo, the hitting coach that they brought from the Indians. I heard in the news the other day, Kyler, did you hear this story about what he's telling hitters? What got leaked? Hit the ball to the opposite field with a level swing. No home run swings. It sounds like my not whole Little League coach, man.
And we're on our what, like 4th or 5th hitting coach in the last like 6 years.
4th in 5 years.
I'm telling you, it seems like
Why is Joey Votto not in this organization? Why have they not called up Joey Votto? Like, hey, dude, you know how you were meticulous about hitting? Notoriously did stupid stuff in practice so much, people will like dislike you.
Because it takes the front office to use their brain and do something about it.
Well, man, we'll make it worse than that. Front office using their brain. In 2023, Kyler, do you mean the trade deadline in 2023? The Reds were 19 games above 500, I think it was. We had a playoff spot. I know we did. And we were making that final push to really go for it. Remember how good that year was until the end?
Yeah.
It was the Reds came out of nowhere. They were a good baseball team. A good team. Ellie De La Cruz had a 720 OPS that year, and he was bad. Bad. But Connor Phillips, an arm in AAA, we said, we need him so much for the future. We cannot trade him. And sure enough, we got Sam Moll at the trade deadline, which kudos to Sam Moll. Pitched great, but we didn't even need a reliever. We got hurt down the stretch. I think Hunter Greene went down that year. At the end of the year, we got hurt down the stretch from key injuries, and it didn't pan out. We didn't make the playoffs. And where's Connor Phillips now?
It was one game.
Was that the game? Was that the year we had that playoff game or the play-in game against we had to win one game against the Pirates the last like 12 or the last like 9 games of the season. We lost every one.
Yep, I think we missed the postseason by 1 game.
I think we played 8. I think it was 8 games in a row against the Pirates, or I think it was like 7 or 8. It was 7. It was 7. It was a 3-game and a 4-game series, and we just had to win 1.
Yep. And then they went into the 24 season with the same expectations of making the postseason, and obviously we watched that happen. So
and you can't put your money in prospects, right?
There's nothing wrong with building a good farm team. Like, you obviously need prospects, but I feel like the Reds just focus way too much. And I'm kind of being a hypocrite here, and I am going back on what I said because we talked about like the trading, like maybe in February or March, we were talking about, would you trade prospects to get someone like Lewis from the White Sox? Like, and I was like, no, like, dude, you got to keep your prospects. Like that's your future. Yeah. But like, I'm starting to get this realization that the Reds continue to bet on their prospects and they continue to not pan out, or they do pan out and we trade them too early, and the people we get in compensation never pan out, and we basically just blew whatever prospect we traded away.
Well, there are wins. We traded Luis Castillo for who all we give with that? I know for a fact we got Marte, but there was way more than Marte.
I'm not saying everyone, but I'm just saying, like, it seems as if the Reds front office is betting on the future and not now, and that's not been panning out the last couple of years.
So that's my point. Is that when we traded who did we trade? Tyler Mahle. I think for Tyler Mahle, didn't we get Christian Encarnacion-Strand, Spencer Steer? And there's another guy too. We got, but here's the deal: Strand's not working out. So this gets to what I'm saying. You get all the prospects in the world, the great paper trades, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When you look at the end of the day, let's talk about guys not working out. Connor Phillips might be a bust. Okay, so the fact we didn't trade him in 2023 looks really bad. But Spencer Steer has a regression season. After last year was a regression season, knocked in a lot of runs, but he couldn't hit normally. Matt McLain's struggling to find his role on this team as he's struggling to field the ball and hit the ball. He's striking out at a 40% strikeout rate. Ellie De La Cruz is having a regression season right now. The world called him a superstar. He got the Madden cover curse, and now he's trying to hit opposite field slat base hits. My guy in the 3-hole who hits the ball 118 miles an hour off the freaking bat is trying to hit ground balls through the hole of the shortstop and the third baseman in the year of our Lord, 2025. I didn't know I had Tony Gwynn the third over here. I didn't know that's the player I was getting. And if it was, he's not going to the 3-hole, by God. He's hitting leadoff.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think our offense is having an identity crisis is the best way to sum it up. Like, I feel like it's frustration. I mean, we can sit here and yell about it all day. We have hitters that, like you just said, De La Cruz should not be trying to slap ground balls opposite. He like should be hitting home runs. He's makes it look effortless. And like, what is going on? We're having an
And
identity.
you can actually see him, by the way. There was like one at bat in particular. You saw him like go to hit that ball, and he like turned the bat in and like threw the bat at the ball to hit it opposite
He
way.
threw his hands out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's stuff they taught you in the '80s.
Yeah.
Lead with the knob, like that's not true.
Chop at it like in bench warmers. It's not a sword.
So are these the right guys to bet on, or do you just not bet on them? And then how long do you ride it out before you start selling off these guys to get to the next round of prospects the Reds way? Or do you finally make the move if you're the Reds front office, look at teams that are underperforming like the Orioles are, who are now 10 games under 500, or the Rockies, who are on track to have a worse season than the White Sox last year, and say, hey, you're rebuilding. We've got Chase Petty in the minor leagues. We've got Rhett Loudon.
Right.
We've got Sal Stewart. We've got Edwin Arroyo. We've got these top 100. We got Chase Burns. Why not put him in play?
Yeah. Well, it goes back to what we were talking about. Like, when do you just give these guys chances? Because obviously the ones now are.
Well, I'm not saying play them. No, you're misunderstanding. I'm saying put them in play on the trade block. Put a prospect on the trade block and get a team on the field now.
Yeah.
Don't worry about next year's
bet on it now. Yeah.
Bet on now. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I like that idea. I mean, it's probably not going to happen. What's probably going to happen is we're going to play mediocre baseball all year. We're going to bitch and complain. Oops, sorry. We're going to complain in the off season, and we're going to get a few guys, some people out of prime that we're going to sign the free agency. We might make one trade or whatever, and we'll be excited. And then I feel like it's just a constant cycle with the Reds front office.
When we signed Scott Rowland that year, that was a veteran that performed. I cannot think of us signing another veteran that's performed since. Can't think of one.
I agree.
Matt, remember we traded Homer Bailey for Matt Kemp, Yasiel Puig, and who worked out in that trade? Puig for half a year?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll give you one after Scott Rowland.
And got arrested for gambling.
I'll give you one for Scott Rowland. Shin Shu Chu. That one panned out. That one panned 1 year contract. That panned out. That was what, 2012? 2013? Yeah. Can you think of anybody after that? I can't think of anybody after that.
Frazier
was a homegrown product.
Right. Just trying to think.
There isn't one.
No. Where did Frazier go after us? The Pirates? Where did
Pirates,
he go?
They went to New York, yeah.
For some reason, I thought we traded for Frazier, but yeah, no, I can't think of anyone else.
Jose Iglesias? I mean, he played okay for us. He looked great last year, but I wouldn't say it was a great. I mean, that wasn't a great addition. You got what you wanted out of him.
Yeah.
No, Castellanos played good. He was good.
Yeah.
Castellanos probably is where I put there, and that's all I'd have. I think that's it though, man. I think it's the front office needs to figure it out, man. But I'm not going to complain about it all night, Kyler. That'll wrap up this episode of Reds Access, man. Of course, everybody listening, big thanks for tuning in. Kyler and I definitely appreciate you all, and feel free to subscribe. It's a big way to help us out. Comment, stay in the loop on social media. Of course, we're Reds_Access, Reds _Access on Instagram, Reds Access Official on TikTok. Be sure to follow us across every other source, like Facebook, for example, and keep the conversation going with us across all our social media platforms. And as always, Kyler, rounding third and headed for home. Go Reds.